For me, I walk around and I talk to each group. I make sure that everyone is engaged, and if they're not, I ask them what are they doing and what are they supposed to be doing. I speak to each group, find out their plan of action, and I also ask what is the role for each group member. I repeat to them what they've explained to me and make sure that we're all on the same page. I also provide checkpoints, which basically means they need to turn in something, a checkpoint, so that I can ensure that they're moving along with a good timeline to be successful in the whole project. When working in collaborative groups, my students are building communication skills and leadership skills the most. I specifically tell the students that one person will need to rise to the responsibilities of the leader. There will be one person that sticks out, one person that's able to organize, one person that can see the project as a big picture, and then everybody else needs to fall into their role of doing what that person expects them to do. I also explain to them that every role will not be the role that you want to do, but it's important for you to get it done for this one project, and then you know, hey, next project, I don't want to do that role. And what are their biggest struggles? Their biggest struggle is owning that role and also accepting everyone in the group. Okay, students struggle with accepting the role. If the role they are given they are not happy with, I will try to explain that at any job and in any project, there's always going to be something that no one wants to do. But somebody's got to step up and do it, and might as well do it well, do it fast, do it efficient, and then be done with it. And then as far as accepting everyone into the group, I make sure that people know that we're not always going to work with people that we like. And that's okay. We don't have to like them, we don't have to agree with them, but we do have to figure out a way to get this project done. And that's what I tell them. And I say put all differences aside, and I make sure that I set those expectations before the project even starts. I have noticed that when students are learning a new skill and given too many steps at one time, they are overwhelmed and less successful. So recently I have slowed down to 1 to 2 steps at a time when learning a new task. Make sure I give them time to practice and make sure that they feel successful before we move on to the next step. So they don't already feel like they're behind and they have to catch up, or they're lost and they don't know what they're doing. And yes, it does take time. It does take me walking around, and it does take some students being patient. But that's what I like to do in my classroom. Students in my class are given a project of creating a prototype, sort of like an invention. With their group, they need to come up with the invention, they have to create a logo, and they have to create a sales pitch. And at the end of the project, they will present their invention to the class, and hopefully the class will buy it. And that's pretty much what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell their product to the consumers. For me, I am constantly walking around. I'm constantly talking to the groups. I'm constantly asking them questions about what they're doing and why they're doing it. I also provide many checkpoints. I'll give them a form that says, you should have this done by this date. And that seems to work really well. Students struggle with time management. They say, oh, we have a week, we have 2 weeks to do this project, we have plenty of time. And then near the due date, they're like, we don't have enough time. And it's because they don't have that ability to schedule out specific tasks and when they need to be due by. Also, they don't schedule in the quality check. They don't have somebody or a time where they can go back and make sure that they've met all the requirements and it looks good. I would suggest to teachers using Google Forms. You can send out a quick form. Are there any misunderstandings? Does your group need any help with anything? Where are you in the project? Just so you can get a gauge real quick of where everyone is at. Also, I would suggest a checkoff type document, almost like a rubric, but more of like a timeline guidance. Part 1 needs to be due by this date, and then have them check off or initial if it's done, and then walk around and speak to the groups. Hey, are y'all done with this, this, and this? Because by now you should be done with that. Making sure to always communicate with them, making sure to give them opportunities to provide you feedback or voice any concerns or questions they may have. In my classroom, I make sure that all students know each other's names. You'll be surprised how many classes go the whole year and the student's like, that guy over there. Well, that is James and he has a name. So I expect my students in my classes to know all of the students' names. I also set the expectations of a safe environment. Everybody's idea is going to be heard. Everybody's ideas count. And we respect all voices in the classroom. With that set, in the very first few weeks of class, it really helps the students to feel comfortable communicating. And then I also set the expectation that everybody will communicate. Everybody will speak in front of the class, and that just helps to make sure that the quiet student knows that, yeah, they're going to have to speak at some point in time. I feel that it's easy to see if something's not working. If you look around your classroom and you have students that are off task by talking, they're on their phone, they have their earbuds in, you walk around and you see that they're not on the correct website, then you know something's not working. They're not engaged, they're not on task, and you start asking yourself, why are they not on task? So that's when I know that I need to adjust what I'm doing. I will set the expectations higher. I will make sure that each student knows what they're supposed to be doing at that specific time. Also, for the more advanced students that are done, you need to provide the extension activities. There has to be something that students can do when they're finished.